Hi, I'm Chelsea Norm. I decided to videotape myself because one, extra credit, and two, hopefully you can kind of understand who I am and some of my humor because you can see my face and hear my inflection as I talk about things. So, as I said, my name is Chelsea. I do not have a home phone, but I always have my cell phone attached to me like most of us. My number is 574-806-7328, and I will make sure to include that as a part of a text when I upload the video. So, my place of employment, I currently have two places of employment. I have been working for Senior Helpers, which is in home caregiving with my CNA. And I have a lady in a town next to me that is bedbound, and I go and sit with her and talk to her and help her with her medications and with feeding and anything that she might need. And it is very social work based, more than I thought, because we have usually 12 hours to talk about whatever she pleases. And then this week, I actually started a new job. I decided to step outside of my comfort zone and I applied for Peak Community Services, and they provide services to people with profound mental and physical disabilities. So, my position is in the day program. I could have worked in a group home, but was not ready to commit to evening hours just yet. I did that in high school, so I was like, okay, I'll do the day program. I had no idea what that meant. I walked out freaking out, but I just met some of my clients today, and I'm going to be a life skills coach. So we're going to go out in the community and we're going to work on how to grocery shop and the prices versus the brands, and we're going to have cooking classes. And to say that I'm excited is an understatement. I am still scared to death, but I'm ready to take it on. So, number 6, my family. Oh, buddy. Okay, so I live with my boyfriend. I have lived with him for 3 years in a little town called Winnemac, Indiana. His parents are our neighbors. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. Also, all of his family lives within a 2 block radius, so been an adjustment. My mom and dad live in the town next to us where I grew up. I see them all of the time. My sister moved to South Bend, so there's one town in Indiana, one of the couple, you probably have heard of South Bend, and she lives with her fiance and her 3.5-year-old son. And I have a huge family, to say the least. My dad is one of 8 boys. My grandma on my mom's side is one of 8. And then my grandpa on my mom's side is one of 10. So both sides are literally huge. And we see most of them all of the time. Everyone still stayed right here in Little Indiana. So that's about that. Why did I choose to take this course? I'm actually have a specialization in psychosocial oncology. So they were a little confused when I told my advisor that I wanted to take the human sexuality class, but I was ready to get away from death and dying for a moment and do something that really interests me again. I had a minor at Indiana University, but I never took enough classes to get that minor, and I thought graduating on time was a little more crucial to my life. So I have taken, I think, 3 or 4 gender classes. I took a human sexuality my first semester freshman year, and boy, did it. It informed me of a lot. I saw things I thought I would never see in my life. But honestly, it's made me so much more comfortable talking about sexuality and sexual histories and all kinds of fun stuff. So I enjoy it, and here I am again. One last chance to take a human sexuality class. My goals and objectives. I always am so confused when we have like our goals because I try to go to my class like open minded. Like, I'm just gonna learn whatever is thrown at me. But my goal is really just to one, survive, but to be honest, kind of. And it's really just, I want to learn as much as I can. I want to learn about laws. I'm always the weird one that loves to learn about the policies and laws behind gender and sexuality. But I also want to see like how it affects people in different communities, big town versus small town. I did my school at IU in Bloomington, so their perception is very like, even though it's a small town, is very like large town based because a lot of people there are accepting and they just have like a different mentality than the rest of Indiana. So my goal is to just learn as much as I can. I really went into this thinking it would help me learn how to work with people of a different sexuality or like someone that falls within like the LGBTQ spectrum. But I think that it is going to be more of like policy based. Like I've taken in one class in college, so I'm like really excited just to see what all, if it is any of those things, honestly. I've read through the syllabus a little bit, and the one major thing I took was that it's laws and policies, so I was glad to see that. So, topics of special interest to me. So, I'm going to take that as it is specific to this course. So, one, transgendered bathrooms. I think hopefully everyone in our class is kind of excited but confused on why this is such a big topic. But I try to stay off Facebook debates, but I find myself suckered right back into them. So I just really want to like understand the laws and the policies and how to talk about that like in a very educational way instead of just basically saying why would we not give humans rights? But they can't see me rolling my eyes from behind a keyboard. So beyond that, I think really trying to like take this class and focus in Indiana because as you know, red state and we just passed an abortion law that we won't talk about right now. So just like learning policies and then what we can do to change the policies. I like was still kind of scared junior year when we did policy, and I think like looking at policies now, like I just feel so much more comfortable as a social worker, like voicing my opinion and realizing like I am educated enough to make a difference. So really focusing on policies like in my town and state as well. So three characteristics. One, the only one that first came to mind was I have tattoos. I was going to use like 3 of my 5 as my 3 characteristics, but I decided that probably was a cop out. So, as I said, I have 5. They're mostly for people. I have a Livestrong on my ankle for my dad with his cancer color as the L, and that was the first one. The second one was a bird with my Faith lice here for my little cousin Faith, who was born prematurely. She's doing good now, and she's 16, but she always rested her head on my chest as a baby. And then I have a tattoo that says, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning how to dance in the rain." Because even though I'm very extroverted now, it took a lot of pain and suffering to get that confidence. So that was kind of like my weird transition from like very not confident to like almost too confident in a way. So it's like, just get out there and do it. Like, quit being so scared of the world. And then I have a tattoo on my hip that says Expecto Patronum. Not a Harry Potter fan, but so that probably shocks a lot of people. My sister is a huge Harry Potter fan, to the point where her son, my nephew, is Dean Thomas. That is for his grandpa and for my dad. She only okayed it because apparently that's a character in a movie. I don't know. It's literally to like that point. But she told me what the spell meant, and Dean is both of our happy places, so we got matching tattoos as sisters and for him. So I rock it proudly. And then my most recent one is across my shoulder. It says Against All Odds because against all odds, I am in a master's program. Like, who would have ever guessed? Everyone always thought that I would have been the first one to drop out of undergrad, which I wasn't. I successfully did not transfer schools, and a lot of other people didn't make it or are graduating late. So I'm really proud of myself for that and to getting into a master's program starting the day, 2 days after graduation. And just like overcoming eating disorders and depression and literally hating myself, like I talked about, to the point where I'm just so confident in my life. So, against all odds, I'm here today and I am who I am. And I am very proud of that. And, okay, so that's one of my characteristics. My other one is that I'm very outgoing. I'm the one at family holidays that all of the old family members love to talk to because at least I'm funny and I'm not afraid of them. So, definitely a good quality. Probably why I love the elderly population, because they like me, because I'm used to it with my family. And then the third one, oh my goodness, I knew I should have wrote these down. I wish I could just make one up. Okay, I'm going to skip it and go back to it. So my level of experience as a social worker, because all through like my beginning process of like entering the social work program, my CNA was like my experience and I rocked it because no one else had even worked in their life. Not no one, a lot of people hadn't worked. And then I worked at a daycare for a summer, which pushed my boundaries to say the least. So, hang on, I gotta log back in. So that is definitely my experience. But to me, that was like the most experience you could have. Well, once I did my practicum at Southern Care Hospice, I realized that I really did not have any idea of what social work experience was like outside of just school and what they forced us to do. So that has helped me tremendously. I still think that being in nursing homes and working and just understanding people and advocating for someone who can't advocate for themselves because they're bedbound or, confined to a facility has helped me. So that puts me at my experience starting at 17, which is super young age to be caring for other humans when a lot of 17-year-olds aren't even caring for themselves. But now my job at Peak, I'm so excited because I really feel like this is my first job that is like social work, and I think that's because it's outside of my comfort zone. So if I had family members with profound disabilities and it was like something comfortable to me, I would think that being in a nursing home would be more of a social work position, but since this is new, I decided to take a plunge and just see what it was like. That I am going to really believe that this is my most social work experience. So I know a lot of people hate going bachelor straight to master's because we don't have that experience. But I'm doing whatever I can to get that experience from not just inside school, but taking it and applying my real life, being not, hey, during college I'm a social worker, but outside of that I'm whoever I want to be, but kind of just I am now a social worker. So back to a third characteristic, I think just my compassion for people, which I think is what I was going to say the first time, but I'm always the one when someone's broke down on the side of the road that makes Josh pull over and help them, or if I see someone struggling to carry something, I'm not afraid to approach them and be like, hey, do you need some help? And just realizing from sociology freshman year of the bystander effect, the more people there, the less helpful it is because everyone else will think, oh, someone will do it. I took a personal pledge to be that person. To even though it's uncomfortable for me to ask and get rejected, it's more uncomfortable for them to stand there struggling when all these people that could be perfectly helpful are just ignoring them. So we had a student in my social work program that was in multiple classes of mine that was blind, and just watching people have a total he would walk in the door and not know where to sit, and just watching people let him struggle with that, where I would just be like, hey, so and so, like, here's a seat, 3 down on the left. And I think a lot of that comes from the nursing home having a patient who was blind and, like, just talking to him, like, hey, here's where we're going. We're going to turn left. 3 feet, we do this. Your food's right here on the plate. And just being, like, not so uncomfortable and just realizing talking about it is helpful to them. But, okay, I realize this is 15 minutes and I really have to stop. So, alright, that is me. Any questions, feel free to ask me. Bye!